President Joe Biden received a warm welcome in India's capital Friday upon his arrival for a summit of the leaders of the group of 20 major and developing countries. "I'm happy to be here," he appeared to say as he stepped off Air Force One, while classical Indian dancers moved to a Hindi-laced hip-hop track on the New Delhi tarmac. Biden headed straight into a private one-on-one meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Press were given limited access to the meeting, where the two reaffirmed in a lengthy statement the close and enduring partnership between India and the United States. In the statement, the two leaders called on their governments to continue the work of transforming the Indian-US strategic partnership across all dimensions of our multifaceted global agenda based on trust and mutual understanding. They also re-emphasized that the shared values of freedom, democracy, human rights, inclusion, pluralism, and equal opportunities for all citizens are critical to the success our countries enjoy, and that these values strengthen our relationship. On Saturday, Biden and other heads of state take part in the G20 Summit, where they're expected to cover issues ranging from the war in Ukraine to climate change. When asked by VOA what Indians expected from the historic summit, many were quick to say, results. "I really wish we have a takeaway from G20, said Sabina Samad, 40 years old, a lifelong Delhi resident who cited climate change among her concerns. Maybe something good for humanity. "Are you optimistic or pessimistic?" VOA asked. "Both," she said. Indrajit Singh runs a small electronics shop founded by his father in 1961. "The most important thing what I feel is trade," he told VOA. "On the economic front, we should have very, very good relations. The trade should increase, so there should be economic prosperity between all the G20 nations, and ease of travel for the people. People-to-people contact, that is very important." Some Delhi residents remarked on the tight security and the capital's unusually quiet streets. "I love the makeover that Delhi has got. I just wonder where the dogs and beggars have gone, but I'm sure they're in a great place," said Ambika Anand, 42, a social media influencer. As for India's being taken seriously on the world stage, some noted the need for greater alignment between Washington and New Delhi. "I think US is taking India very, very seriously," said Singh, the shop owner. "Because at the moment, I think it's geopolitical also. They have not very good relations with China, so the only option within South Asia is India. It's a compulsion." Mohini Gujral is a retiree born in 1949, the year India and Pakistan separated. She says she's seen many changes in her lifetime. "Now the US is taking India seriously. Before, I don't think we had so much of a say in the world. That's what I feel." Top US officials are also attending the G20, which they say is a key forum for developed and developing nations alike. "I think it's important to emphasize that the G20 is a prime contributor to the solution of global challenges," said Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. "We see it as a premier organization that on a global basis is taking on critical challenges facing the global economy and particularly the global south." Amidst it all, Pakistani officials are worried about the G20 summit that India is now hosting in New Delhi. They are apprehensive that India will use the multilateral event to downplay the significance of the India-Pakistan conflict over Kashmir and try to legitimize its control over the disputed territory. The summit holds immense significance as it brings together leaders from the world's major economies to discuss global issues relating to climate change, economy, and development. However, Pakistani policymakers fear that instead of utilizing this platform to address pressing global challenges, India may exploit it as an opportunity to castigate Pakistan and escalate tensions ahead of the upcoming general elections. In preparation for the major event, India convened a tourism working group meeting in the part of Kashmir it controls, which Pakistan and its longtime ally China opposed. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Sunday that G20 meetings should be held in Kashmir and Arunachal Pradesh in spite of objections from Pakistan and China. Such a question would be valid if we had refrained from conducting meetings on those venues. Ours is such a vast, beautiful, and diverse nation. When G20 meetings are happening, isn't it natural that meetings will be held in every part of our country? He said. Pakistanis believe that India may attempt to use the Delhi summit to downplay alleged human rights violations in Kashmir. It's concerned, too, that with India holding the presidency of G20, it may leverage its influence to push for a joint press release targeting Pakistan. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping will not be attending the summit. While the Kremlin said that the Russian president will be unable to attend the Delhi event due to his busy schedule, it is more likely that with Russian invasion of Ukraine expected to be a talking point at the Delhi summit, Putin would have preferred to stay away. As for Xi, while the Chinese Foreign Ministry has not provided a reason so far for his staying away, the decision must be seen in the context of the tense Sino-Indian relationship along their disputed border in Ladakh. It is being seen as a sign that India is unwilling to cede to India the prestige of having organized a successful G20 summit. Putin and Xi will be represented by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Chinese Premier Li Qiang respectively at the Delhi meeting. In light of reports that Western nations are adamant about including Russia's invasion of Ukraine in the joint statement and Moscow asking India to remove the Ukraine paragraph from the statement, Pakistan may attempt to make it more difficult for India to secure a joint communique at the G20 Summit. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia is reportedly scheduled to visit Pakistan before going to India to attend the summit. Pakistan may utilize the Crown Prince's presence in Islamabad to generate headlines of its own, emphasizing Pakistan's role in maintaining regional stability and the necessity of peaceful conflict resolution. Pakistan might also attempt to influence its friends, including China, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and others, to play a more proactive role in shaping any G20 forum statements that touch on terrorism and regional conflicts. This raises questions about whether a joint statement will even be issued at all. We cannot allow India to divert attention away from human rights violations in Kashmir through big branding and international events like the G20 Summit, a security official told the diplomat on conditions of anonymity, adding that if such tactics are allowed to succeed, they could undermine Pakistan's efforts to address these issues at the global level. Amid these developments, Islamabad is also keeping an eye on the Indian Air Force's preparations for a major exercise that will take place this week close to the Pakistan and China borders. The drill is scheduled to take place from September 4 to 14th, even as global leaders are in New Delhi on September 9th and 10th. The northern sector, which comprises Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, and Punjab, is expected to host the drills. For Pakistan, the military exercise in the midst of a major multilateral event only shows India's belligerent attitudes towards its neighbors. The Pakistani official emphasized that the world shouldn't allow India to use such events to promote hostility in the region. Western nations are concerned about including the Ukraine issue in the G20 joint statement, but have overlooked the need to discuss Kashmir, a nuclear flashpoint that poses a far greater threat to a world peace, he cautioned.